Flatlanders are hiking in the Pennsylvania Grand Canyon when they find themselves trapped between a mother bear and her two cubs. The bear roars and starts to charge toward them. One of them stands rude to the spot, while the other one bends down, calmly takes off his fancy hiking boots, and starts to lace up his running shoes. The first Flatlander looks over and says to his friend, "Why bother? No one can outrun a bear." His friend looks up and says, "I know that, but all I have to do is outrun you." I'm a ridgerunner, and thus a natural storyteller, and I love Flatlander jokes. Just what is a Flatlander? If you have to ask, you probably are one. Natives, also known as ridgerunners, use Flatlander as a term for people from downstate, especially people from southern Pennsylvania around Philadelphia area, and especially folks from New Jersey. Really though, it can stand for anyone from outside the endless mountains of northwestern Pennsylvania. The term can be used jokingly, but also with a fair amount of contempt. The common understanding, as presented in the book Flatlanders and Ridgerunners by James York Glim, is that the Flatlanders lack the knowledge of the hills that means basic survival and should just go home. Unfortunately, this collection of folktales had gone the way of the Side-Hill Moody. Well, being that I'm made of earth and stone and pure mountain spring water flows through my veins, that answer wasn't good enough for me. I decided to track down the publisher and find out who owned the rights, to see if I couldn't use some of that old country charm to get it reprinted. I have a copy of my own that I've perused so much that it's only held together with dirt and spider webs. I have found several of the out-of-print editions, but those sell for upwards of $80 for the hardcover and close to $50 for the paperback, and that's money I need for copper to build my new still. It seems I'm not the only one who knows their ass from a hole in the ground. Margie Bachman of University of Pittsburgh Press has been instrumental in this book seeing the light of day and bringing it back into print. Margie says the book, first published in 1983 and continues to be in high demand, a must-read. It's been a process for Margie, and she's run into a number of snags along the way. So this collection of local folktales is available once again. James York Glim was born a city boy. When he took a position at Mansfield University in the heart of the mountains of northern Pennsylvania in 1968, he was unprepared for the weather, the animals, and getting only 3 television stations, 2 of which didn't come in. He was ignorant and outsider. Yep, a Flatlander, as he explains in the introduction to his now beloved book. How does one become a ridgerunner? Well, most locals say you have to be born one, and there's some truth to that. But with the passage of time, people might just forget that you ain't from these parts, at least most of the time. One of the first things to remember is that this isn't the big city, and that's one reason we live here. There's a natural scenic beauty, and it doesn't come with an opera house, stores lit with neon signs that stay open 24/7. There also isn't a lot of impersonal violent crime. Guns don't kill people, people kill people. Sure, you might get a rear end full of rock salt for skinny dipping in the farmer's pond, but he knows who you are, especially the next day when he sees you limping around. We like it this way, and attempting to recreate that little part of the city you left behind is universally resented. I don't care if you are a hardcore tree hugger, vegetarian, activist, or flesh-eating zombie. That's this dandy. There's no sticking in my craw and expecting you to chew on it. Most ridgerunners don't care who you are or what you do as long as you extend the same courtesy to them. They know good manners and common sense will see you through most situations and help you adjust to the ridgerunner way. But since it's a book for damn near everything, I recommend starting a new life in rural America. 21 Things You Need to Know Before You Make Your Move by Ragnar Benson. Benson grew up on a farm and has lived in the sticks most of his life. He's gathered his advice in this handy manual. Hey, why learn things the hard way? He covers topics from septic tanks, to snowstorms, to bears in your garbage. Blending in your natural surroundings is just part of your new life in the country. Unfortunately, many city people think about nature and forget about social blending. Ragnar covers driving protocol in the country, how to borrow tools, and rural churches and their role in local affairs. There's much more to blending into a rural community than what these 2 books or any column can cover, but it's a start. Talking to folks, driving rural roads correctly, and helping pull a neighbor out of a ditch in winter are much more valuable in terms of community relations than holding an open house. As I said, plain good old manners and common sense will see you through most situations. So take a load off, buy me a cold beer, let me tell you about these 2 Flatlanders that went hunting. Flatlanders and Ridgerunners is available right here at From My Shelf Books in Wellsboro, Pennsylvania. You can get yourself a copy at www.wellsborobookstore.com, or you can give us a holler. Heck, you can even write us at From My Shelf Books, 87 Main Street, Wellsboro, Pennsylvania, 16901. Cost is $14.95 plus $3 shipping and handling for a total of $17.95.